Hi, gonna try this again. I received a compelling piece of junk mail from our Congressman Cliff Bentz. It's titled Everything You Need to Know About the Working Family's Tax Cut. It's Public Law 119-21, House Resolution 1, otherwise known as the One Big Beautiful Bill Act. It's the same bill they passed in July of last year. Nothing is different. So what does Bentz want to tell you about the Big Beautiful Bill without calling it the Big Beautiful Bill? Well, on the front page, it lists the 4 details of this tax cut he'd like to draw your attention to. 1, historic tax relief. 2, invests in American-made energy. 3, secures the border. And 4, cracks down on illegal immigration. Again, this bill is not something he plans to do. This is something he's already done. You should be able to look outside your window and see it happening right now. But let's focus on the words tax cut. The Congressional Budget Office has made it clear by showing the math. These tax cuts benefit the wealthiest 10% of Americans by income the most. $2.3 trillion out of $4.5 trillion in lost government revenue over the next 10 years. Again, half of that tax relief is going to 10% of income earners. And almost half of that, $1 trillion, is going to benefit the top 1% of earners. That's nearly a quarter of the tax cuts going to 1% of us. Households with incomes in the top 1% will get 3 times more tax relief than households at the bottom 60%. Now keep in mind, this same bill cuts $1.4 trillion from SNAP, Medicaid, and other health programs used by the poorest Americans, many of whom are the working families this tax cut is meant to appeal to. There are also programs that 1 out of 4 veteran households rely on. You might say, well, the tax cut doubles the child tax credit. Not for as many as 20 million children whose family incomes are not high enough to qualify. $880 billion over the next 10 years, somehow slipping right over the heads of those who need it the most, and no longer have the same food or health benefits they used to. This bill also increases funding for law enforcement and military by $325 billion, but not for VA benefits. Not for black mold mitigation in army barracks, not for the families trying to make ends meet while their loved ones are sent off to war. But there has to be some benefit to the poor, right? Sure. Households earning under $50,000 a year will get an average of $250 in tax cuts. Not even $1 per day. A household bringing home $1 million will get an average of $100,000 in tax cuts from the same tax cut. The reality is this. When these tax cuts are balanced against cuts to programs like SNAP, Medicaid, and the ACA marketplace, this bill, combined with the tariffs, hurts the bottom 70% of this country. Hurts, not helps. That is most likely you. It's definitely my household, and if you aren't feeling the pain now like I am, you will be soon. Cliff Bentz is increasing spending, decreasing government revenue, and adding to the debt. He's hurting people of all kinds in order to do it. He has no reason to believe you will ever have what it takes to stand up to him. Bentz has sent this trash out to his constituents, hoping they won't connect the dots, hoping they won't try to ask questions, hoping they won't get smart and pick someone else to represent them in D.C. But I look at this as a gift of sorts because inside this otherwise worthless mailer is a list of things Bentz is proud of in a bill that he helped to pass. I plan to dissect all of them and make it impossible for you to ignore his lies and distortions. Working Oregonian families who need their government to function have no greater foe than Cliff Bentz until they vote for him. Then, Oregonians become their own worst enemy.